reduced our turnover tremendously. But bottom line is, it's a school where people want to be. And I think Tim hit on it earlier. It starts with one, high, clear expectations, and about the rounding piece and relationships. I heard this when I first started, when Quincy came to our district and talked a little bit about rounding, and I like Mary Jo, a lot of my colleagues, that won't work in education. You know what? Just think about it for a minute. You can adapt these principles to go ahead and fit within your organization. This is just a sample of how we adapted rounding. And I could speak just on rounding all day, but I can tell you right now, the first 30 days, it's a check-in for everybody. We do anonymous surveys, and it's not a student survey, it's my own anonymous survey. We do that after the first 30 days. I just sent it out last week. I have just about probably 90% of the staff that filled it out. I purposely didn't look at the comments prior to coming here. I'm gonna wait till I get back. Because again, I'm at a brand new school. I went back, and although it's only been 6 years since I've been gone, boy, does the culture change quickly. And so I'm anxious, of course, when they saw that anonymous survey coming out, what's this, what's it? Guys, don't forget, I did this just 6 years ago when I was here. I just want to know what's working for you. What do you need help with? What resources? Do you have the tools and equipment? Well, we give out preference cards at the very beginning. In May, before I arrived at the school, I arrived in July. I asked the administrative assistant if she would send out preference cards. Boy, I can tell you right now, I gave them out to our PTO, I gave them out to everybody. That is invaluable information. If you want to develop and nurture relationships, you need those preference cards. I call it 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. It's very, very simple. I ask on the back of the preference card, tell me 2 things that are going well, 2 things that need attention, and 1 person that needs to be recognized in the organization and why. Tools and equipment, and we set some goals in those first 30 days. 90-day checkup, and again, we're doing things intermittently every single month, but at the 90-day, mid-year reflection. How are we doing on our goals? We're sitting there talking with every single employee about the goals that they've set for themselves, any challenges, needs that they have with regards to the goals they've set. Challenges and needs with regards to tools and equipment are being addressed every other week on our campus through rounding at our team leader meetings, at our grade level meetings. And then it's also another opportunity to go ahead and manage people up. Anytime that you get the opportunity to go ahead and ask who should be recognized and why, we need to go ahead and do it. And at the very, very end, you've heard people talk a little bit about the performance evaluation. If you can tie it to evaluation, that's the way to go. If it's tied now to my evaluation, I built it in. We don't have a systems in Sarasota County, so I built it in myself because this is what I expect of myself. And if I'm going to go ahead and ask that of my staff, and as Mary Jo mentioned, we asked teachers, this is the first year I've asked the teachers at the school that I'm back at now, is to build in the parent component. I want you to ask the parents and the students what suggestions, thoughts, ideas, and feelings they have about the year that they've experienced with you. And then, of course, on their personal preference sheet, and I don't know about anybody else, in Sarasota, Florida, you have to go ahead and ask folks every single year where they would like to teach the next year. Not that you have to grant it, but you have to ask them where they would like to be placed before you can go ahead and make assignments. We use that as an opportunity since it's in writing, it's in the collective bargaining agreement. It's a great another tool to round getting valuable information to go ahead and begin planning for the next year. Reward and recognition, I can't say enough of it. This is what we should be really, really good at. Unfortunately, we're all busy. We don't do it consistently, and we don't make time for it. So that would be what I would say. These are pretty specific. It needs to be timely. It needs to be ongoing. It should be anyone at any time. And again, that includes your support staff and people. It doesn't even restrict people at the building. There are things that we're writing notes or sending things to the landings, which is the district complex, to board members, to associate superintendent. Nobody is not eligible to go ahead and get some kind of positive feedback for a role they played. Grounds crew coming by, taking good care of our campus. Jot them a quick note, send them an email, let their supervisor know. Anyone at any time. We talked, there's just a couple of examples, drops. Talk about the wild cards. It's no different. How full is your bucket? The drops, you drop them. They're all over campus. People are just writing them now, sending them to each other because they're letting people know that they made a difference for them. Letters, sending personalized letters. Don't do it too often because it will lose its touch and lose its meaning. But if somebody gets an unexpected letter, or a spouse gets an unexpected letter about something that you value in their partner, oh my gosh. Just like the kids, it goes right up on the fridge. Positive referrals. Positive referrals, we put a little different twist on positive referrals. I ask the teachers not only to fill out positive referrals, but turn them into me. I make the positive calls. And I can tell you right now, yes, same experience this year, and this is at an upper middle class school. Those parents, who I would think in most cases probably had a pretty good experience at school, still, no, she's not here. May I ask who's calling? Well, this is Mr. Renouf. I'm sorry I missed her. Could you just have her give me a call back because this was a positive call about Aaron? Oh, hang on one second. Or I leave the message, sorry I missed you, this was a positive call. Feel free to give me a call back. Within seconds, the phone's ringing out front. My secretary, did you call? Folks, this means so much and it takes so little time, but boy, oh boy, not only do I reiterate it with the child, but that moment, it's building up that positive potential within your clientele. I offer time as a way to go ahead and reward our teachers. We cover classes for them because you know what? There's not enough funding to go around. So we have to be creative and think outside the box of how do you recognize and reward people. I can tell you right now, time goes a long way because it's the number one thing that we hear from teachers all the time is there's not enough time. So my administrative team, we figure out how we can go ahead, and even if it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes, if we can go ahead and unexpectedly say, you know what, step out. Go ahead, Miss Anderson. Boys and girls, I'm going to take over the class. I just really want to thank you. We're recognizing things connected to behaviors we want to see more of. I don't have to say a word about it. It's around the building before you know it. And then, of course, anytime it's unexpected, and I don't know about in your buildings, but teachers, in the very beginning, I don't want to be recognized in front of anybody. Don't do that. It's not okay. I don't like it. Folks, we need to take the time to recognize folks that are doing a great job. And so at every staff meeting, every opportunity we get, we go ahead and try to recognize folks that are doing great things. This is probably the ugliest slide you'll ever see. And the only reason I put it up, and it really holds true to one of the previous presentations, is we are under constant scrutiny in education. We know that. But we do a very, very poor job of celebrating and showcasing all the good things that are going on in our schools. And that's from the board level, superintendent, principals, you name it. This is just a couple of examples of different ways you can get positive messages out there about the great things, because you know the negative's going to come. So let's build up the, that positive capital while we have it. And I mean, you can just see, this is not an exhaustive list. There are many, many ways you can be more creative, but keep that positive message flowing out there about the great things that you're doing in your school. And last but not least, it really only takes one. It takes one person to believe and to begin that transformation. And you know what? When your culture within your building starts to become a meaningful, worthwhile place, that's where people want to work. And I can tell you right now, and the slides aren't in there, and that's okay. One, focus on relationships, clear high expectations, and then celebrate them. If you do those three things, the alignment and monitoring and results will come. I thank you for your time and I hope you have a great day.